It is 7:35 p.m. on March 14th, 2023. I am beginning the reading of The State and Revolution by V.I. Lenin. I will begin with the preface to the first edition. The question of the state is now acquiring particular importance both in theory and in practical politics. The imperialist war has immensely accelerated and intensified the process of transformation of monopoly capitalism into state monopoly capitalism. The monstrous oppression of the toiling masses by the state, which is merging more and more with the all-powerful capitalist associations, is becoming ever more monstrous. The advanced countries are being converted, we speak here of their rear, into military convict prisons for the workers. The unprecedented horrors and miseries of the protracted war are making the position of the masses unbearable and increasing their indignation. The international proletarian revolution is clearly maturing. The question of its relation to the state is acquiring practical importance. The elements of opportunism that accumulated during the decades of comparatively peaceful development have given rise to the trend of social chauvinism, which dominates the official socialist parties throughout the world. This trend, socialism in words and chauvinism in deeds, Plekhanov, Potrasov, Breshkovskaya, Rubanovich, and a slightly veiled form, Mr. Tsereteli, Chernov and Company in Russia, Scheidemann, Ligian, David, and others in Germany, Renadel, Gesde, Van der Velde in France and Belgium, Hindman and the Fabians in England, etc., etc., is distinguished by the base, servile adaptation of the leaders of socialism to the interest not of their national bourgeoisie, but precisely of their state. For the national bourgeoisie, before the majority of the so-called great powers have long been exploiting and enslaving a whole number of small and weak nations. And the imperialist war is precisely a war for the division and redivision of this kind of booty. The struggle for the emancipation of the toiling masses from the influence of the bourgeoisie in general and of the imperialist bourgeoisie in particular is impossible without a struggle against opportunistic prejudices concerning the state. First of all, we examine the teachings of Marx and Engels on the state and dwell in particular detail on those aspects of this teaching which have been forgotten or have been subjected to opportunistic distortion. Then we deal specially with the one who is chiefly responsible for these distortions, Karl Kautsky, the best-known leader of the Second International, 1889 to 1914, which has met with such miserable bankruptcy in the present war. Finally, we shall sum up the main results of the experiences of the Russian revolutions of 1905 and particularly of 1917. Apparently, the latter is now, the beginning of August 1917, completing the first stage of its development. But this revolution as a whole can only be understood as a link in a chain of socialist proletarian revolutions being called forth by the imperialist war. Hence, the question of the relation of the socialist proletarian revolution to the state acquires not only practical political importance, but also the importance of a most urgent problem of the day. The problem of explaining to the masses what they will have to do in the very near future to free themselves from the yoke of capitalism. The author, August 1917.